Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, so this may prove to be a rather fun um, episode today because Angie is having a little trouble with her sound mixer, and it kind of depends on just how much we can hold the laughter in before she figures it out. So, anyway, okay, so tonight's topic is talking to clients. Okay, so I'm going to get it started. Okay, we'll see how much Angie jumps in.
Hi, Christina. Oh no, again? Seriously? Oh, come on, man.
Okay.
All right,
So,
is it regular again?
yes, until you start talking. Okay, so the topic
Really loud, angry mouse.
somebody give Angie some cheese. All right, so we're going to talk all about talking to clients. Okay, so myself, all right, and I know everybody that's here. We're very to the point when we're talking to clients. Okay, and not everybody is like that. All right, some people find it difficult to talk to clients. Right. So let's talk about how we're doing it. And for kicks and giggles, Angie's going first.
Oh, geez. All right, is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, nobody's cracking up. Good. All right, so I'll know as soon as, the three of you start cracking up. All right, so when I talk to a client, I talk to them like I would expect to be spoken to by an equal because I don't see them as better than me. And I just give it to them straight. This is the deal. All right, say, perfect example. Someone comes in with a rabbit matted to the skin. And so I do my intake and I go over the rabbit and it's pelted. So I know that one, this is going to take me a minimum of 2 hours. Two, because it's pelted, I know the chances of this rabbit getting cut does exist. And three, I know that at a minimum, I'm going to be charging them $200, probably more like $250. So before I will do anything, here is the form that you must sign. And it says you agree to a price between $200 to $300. Most likely $250. I'll write that in. 200 to 300, most likely $250. So that when that groom is done and I charge them $250 or $225, they're like, "Oh, okay. So it was only $225. That's better than I thought." Oh no, did it happen again?
No.
Okay. So and I just you're giggling. Happened again, didn't it?
No, it did
It didn't. But now it's like that. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. It's inappropriate to laugh. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. So now we're like, when there's no reason to laugh because your voice is fine.
Alright, so I have a Alright, is it better now?
How about now?
Now
Okay.
it's now that
Okay.
everybody knows I snort.
Ah, all right, for anybody.
Wait, I missed the intro. I'm having some issues with my
Oh, no,
phone. Can
come
you
on.
hear me again?
Come on, you're doing come on.
Here's my hands. I will keep them up. Alright.
All right. Hold on. Denise, you go first.
Uh, okay, composure. Okay, so when talking to clients, I always make sure it's very factual. And I think we got on this subject last week because of pricing and coming up with ways to communicate and stuff like that. I like to make sure everything is spelled out, like Angie was talking about. We need to get better with our pricing aspect of as far as that goes, but they're usually within a range that we're telling them. But if anything's changing, we're calling and communicating with them prior to anything. Prior to anything. But what I try and teach all of my employees is to take the emotion out of it. So it really is just facts. Your dog is matted. It needs to be shaved down. There's no other humane way. This is what we're doing. And really is just facts. And I think when you learn how to take the emotion out of things like pricing or saying no or matting or telling a client that something that they don't want to hear and you're very factual with it, it makes it a lot easier to take that component out of it. And exactly. And if my employees have a hard time with that, I do also have forms for them. You know, if they get into a dog and they didn't realize it was matted, like we have a matted release form that we have to send out to them. Like, this is what's gonna, you know, I give them tools as well to be able to state the facts a little bit easier. So I'm a factual person.
Yeah, there was a TV show, and I'm going to date myself. All right. And it was Dragnet. All right. And the lead officer, his famous line was just the facts, ma'am. So like no embellishing on it. When we have to do a price increase, it's just announce the price increase. That's it.
Mhm.
Okay. You don't have to have a story behind it. You don't have to feel sorry for your clients and whether or not they can afford it. Either they can or they can't. Okay.
Mhm.
You know what? If I go into the supermarket, they raise the price of milk. Either I can afford it or I can't. Either I buy it or I don't.
Or eggs. My hands been up here the whole time. What?
Bracket, bracket.
Try it again, Angie.
All right, how about now?
Good. Go ahead. Talk while you can.
Okay. All right. So I have the rabbit owner sign the form. And I just explained that this is the deal. And like Denise was saying, just keep the emotion out of it. I also have a sign in my salon that says January 1st, there will be a price increase due to rising costs. That sign has been posted for 5 years. It has never come down. It will not come down. It is framed in a red frame right there on the wall
All right.
so
So
that everybody can see it.
what happens if somebody comes in, all right, and they don't want to pay the increase? How'd you handle that?
I've never had that happen. If I say that this is so, they
Denise,
come in and ask if their price is increased. And I
Yeah.
say yes. And they say, I'm not paying that.
Mhm.
Then I say, oh, all right, well, I can give you a list of other salons in the area. And I hand it to them because I have a list of other salons in the area.
Mhm.
There you go. Have a
Yeah,
nice
it-
day. And then I walk away
Mhm.
because as far as I'm concerned, this conversation is over. If
Okay.
you are not paying this price, then I am not wasting any further time on you. Here's the list. Have a nice day.
The only time I have leniency is when I noticed I got really far behind on pricing, and I had to do a huge increase that was at least $20 to $40 on some dogs. And what had happened was we didn't have a good system for raising prices across the board with as many employees as we have. So like some would forget, or it got so some people got behind and missed, and we had to really jack up their prices. We just did it. Like the one time they came in, we added it. I will tell you, I think 95% of them didn't say anything. And the other 5%, I understood that it was a big increase. So we told them we were catching up, and that's why it was such a difference this time. But we split the difference with them. They still had to pay more, but then the next time it would go up. And that was just because if I left it up to some sort of big communication, it was slipping through the cracks. So I had to do what I had to do at that point to get it up there. So I wanted to at least be a little sympathetic, obviously, if with it being a big increase and not necessarily being warned. But so I split it with them, and everyone was just fine. So leniency.
Erin just said my broken body is done with leniency.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then there's the whole matted dog. All right. So
Now-
clients coming in and we have to shave the dog. What, Chris, you gonna jump in before?
I'm gonna jump in because with a lot of my clients, I'm not at the other end of the spectrum from you, but I have a slightly different approach to it, because in my area with the very upscale clients, I find softball isn't the right word, but if I'm too just the facts, that rubs them wrong. So you have to know your clients and know your area. And you can still be gentle about it while being firm and sticking to your guns. For example, there's another salon in my area where the groomer is like phenomenal, but she doesn't mean to come across harsh, but she comes across harsh and it turns off a lot of clients. Doesn't mean she's not an absolutely amazing groomer. She just happens to turn off some she just happens to turn off some clients. So you
Being
have
tactful. Yes, you should also be tactful in it.
Yeah, so you have to know your clients, and I will use humor. I will be like, if they ask how their dog was today or ask about matting, I'll be like, well, so I will try to break it to them gently, but at the same time be like, no, this absolutely has to be done. It's knowing your clients. To me, it's knowing and treating them like individuals. Don't sugarcoat things, because there's nothing I hate more than you get a new dog and the dog is an absolute nightmare for something. And you tell them, and the customer's like, what? The other groomer always said they were an angel.
Yeah, then question begs, why are they not using that groomer? The groomer, all right, probably has had enough and either ghosted them or whatever. So yeah, honesty is the best policy. I would never sugarcoat anything with a client, because what happens, this is the scenario that happens, okay? You've been lying to the owner, the behavior of the pet, all right? So the owner thinks the dog is well behaved because they've not heard otherwise, okay? Then all of a sudden, one day, they've had enough, okay? The groomer's had enough, okay? And will then tell the owner either there's a problem or they ghost them. And now this is the first time the owner has heard this, all right? So it can't possibly be their dog. You must have done something because he's been good all along, and now all of a sudden he's not.
And that's a situation where you can still almost slightly sugarcoat it. You can say, well, Fluffy is a sweet dog. I can tell he's a sweet dog. He just hates this so much. And the way I explain it to my customers is this is how the ones who I don't think will take well them saying the dog wants me dead. I say, this is how they communicate. He doesn't want his paws touched. I had to keep touching his paws, so he's going to talk louder, and that involves teeth. I don't want it to get to the point where it's super bad. But the problem is, if you don't even give them a hint that there was something the dog didn't like, there's nothing that can save you down the road. Now, that's a situation where you can even videotape the dog's behavior and the dog acting like an absolute lunatic. But if this is the first they've heard of it, like Mary said, this is what made me think of all this. Now, what did you do to the dog to make him act like?
Right.
Yeah.
So you can still be nice about it, but you have to let them know.
I think also we have to understand that clients don't necessarily understand what's going on in our facilities, okay? Or what's going on as far as the pet is concerned. And you have to relate it in a manner in which they can understand, okay? So for example, you get a dog in, a small dog, teeth are bad, all right? So the teeth hurt this dog, all right? And even if you don't know, if the pet doesn't show any outward signs of any pain, they know they're in pain. They know exactly what hurts, all right? So if I do an assessment and I see the teeth are bad, all right, I'm going to tell the owner, I'm going to frame it like this. I'm going to say, you ever have toothache? We've all had toothaches. It's the rare person who's never had a toothache. Ever had a toothache? Yeah. You know how that feels, right? Now, imagine somebody grabbing you by the face, by that tooth, by the area by the tooth, or taking, I don't know, maybe like an electric toothbrush and running it up against that tooth while it's in pain. Do you know how much that's going to hurt? Yeah, I do. Well, let me explain. Your teeth, the dog's teeth are bad. It hurts him. So that same thing, when I am running an electric clipper along his face or having to hold his face where that tooth hurts, he's in pain. I am causing pain to do that. All right. So being as I don't wish to cause your pet pain, I'm going to be as gentle as possible. However, what that's going to mean is that the face is not going to look as good. When you frame it in a manner that they can understand what the problem really is, they are most owners are more understanding of what's going on. My recommendation for you is you need to go to the vet and talk to the vet about your pet's teeth. The only issue with it is that if the pet has suffered so long with tooth pain, that's always going to be residual, even if they get the teeth done.
Yep. I had the worst cat bite I have ever had. Was someone that brought a cat in. This was a paraplegic cat. Okay. They had a little wheelie chair. And they brought the cat in. This is 30 years ago. And they brought the cat in because the cat was loaded with fleas. This is for there weren't topicals and pills and all that sort of stuff back then. It was a flea bath. That's what you did. So they brought the cat in and I gave it a bath and I put the cat in the water to get, like, we had a bucket. So back then you'd put the cat in the bucket up to the neck and then put water all over the head to get the fleas, because the fleas would come off in the water. And then you take the cat out of the water and then you wash the cat because most of the fleas were in the bucket. And then you do the cat. But I got bit around my watch band and the cat was in up to the gum. And so I had to call for help. The other groomers were on the other side of the salon. One of the other groomers came in. She had to take an X-Acto knife to get the teeth out of my skin. And if it wasn't for my watch band, she would have taken a chunk out of my wrist. So when the owner came, I got the cat bathed. After that, they just wrapped it up, put some stuff on it, and I finished the cat.
When the owner came, we said, did it happen again? My hands were here the whole time.
I was watching your hands, and I had the keys right there, just ready to pull it out.
Is it better now?
No,
Oh, what the hell?
How about now?
now it's fine.
Okay.
No, wow, make me serious.
Damn thing, come on. How about now?
No.
All right, now?
No, I think you need to send a mixer in to be serviced.
How about now?
No, no. Yeah, I hope you have a warranty on this thing.
Yeah, so do I now.
Come on. All right, how about now?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the owner came in, and we said the cat bit me really, really bad. And she said, "Well, why did the cat bite?"
Right, and I said, well, when I put her in the water, she's like, oh, she hates water. Seriously? So the owner said, is it better?
No.
Please tell me no.
Just keep going.
At this
All right.
point, you keep going, Angie.
Keep going.
So she said, the cat hates water. And it's like you brought it in for a flea bath. How did you think that was going to happen without water?
Right?
Is it chipmunk again?
Mm-mm,
No, you're fine.
you good.
But
Look
she
at
actually did, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you'd have to get her wet. She hates water. I didn't know you'd have to get her wet to give her a bath." Great googly moogly. How exactly do you take a bath?
She just thinks you've got some magic waterless cat bath and powders and potions, and we're magicians. I thought you knew that.
Magic wand.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Oh, God. Again?
We're gonna get you little chipmunk ears. Is there like a background in these things that we can put chipmunks up?
Yeah, you know what? That is what it sounds like. She sounds like one of the two cats.
I like it.
I forget their names. I forget the girls' names.
Alvin, Theodore, and
No.
Simon.
The
No,
girl.
it was the girls.
Yeah, I don't know the girl's names.
I don't remember them either.
Okay, it's Theodora is one of them. I don't remember the other two because they were named similar to Alvin and
Yeah.
Simon.
Yeah.
But of course, we could Google that.
there we
Brittany
go.
and Eleanor. There we go.
Knew someone would know it.
The Tripettes. Yes, Brittany, Jeanette, and Eleanor.
Oh,
Thank you.
Jeanette, not Theodora.
Haha, Jeanette.
Okay.
Okay, and you're obviously Brittany because I believe she was the leader.
Mm-hmm.
Of the chipmunk.
And thank you, kids. I'm also kind of glad to know they're still around.
Right?
It seems very wholesome.
Yes.
Okay, so three of us are just back from the Groom Expo West, which, by the way, was my first time there.
All
It
right.
was a really good time.
Yeah, you know what? The show was bigger than I thought.
Oh yeah, no, it's a big show.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was a small show like Tacoma or New England.
Oh,
Mm.
You clearly didn't ask me.
I don't know. People were saying, "Oh yeah, it's a nice small show," and I'm thinking New England or Tacoma, and no, it's not. It was actually quite
Compared
a lot of
to
vendors.
Hershey, it's this much smaller than Hershey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, Integrum,
Bigger than Integrum.
bigger than Integrum. Oh, wow, that's a big show.
Twice? Mary, would you say twice Integrum size? Is
oh
that
yeah, easy twice Integrum size.
twice Integrum?
It's a big show.
Twice Integrum.
Wow.
Chicago has fluctuated a little bit over the past couple years, but a little bigger than Chicago.
Mhm.
About as big as Atlanta. I know it's apples and oranges because it's Barkley and WPA.
That's a big show.
Yeah, and Pasadena is nice. I'm
It's
good. I had
gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Denise and I walked around town for a little while, found a great coffee shop,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very nice.
and a
Bookstore.
really, oh my god, and a really big bookstore.
Yes.
Could have spent like 2 days in that bookstore.
And with it being close enough to LA, like I try to see something newish every time I go through.
Yeah, no. I flew into Ontario Airport because I had absolutely zero desire to sit in LA traffic.
But depending on when you go, it's not horrible. Like if you don't go rush hour, it's not horrible. And there are things in LA. I'm sorry, the Getty, the La Brea Tar Pits, Venice Beach, worth sitting in LA traffic for.
Okay, maybe next year. Maybe. Maybe. All right. So the next show upcoming, and you know what? All of these shows, they all have customer service classes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
they are
actually teaching.
absolutely worth your time to take in-person classes. All right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So the next,
Actually, that's one of the ones I believe I'm teaching in Atlanta. I know I'm teaching it, or am I teaching it in Super Zoo? Now I'm confused. I know I'm
Okay,
teaching
just
one of my customer service
for
classes.
people who know, if you're going to the Atlanta Pet Fair and you want to take the first aid class, Saturday and Sunday is already full. There's some spots left on Friday's class. Corey says nothing like Cali. You know, I don't know what it is about California, but the second I land, my allergies just are horrendous.
Mm. Weird.
So I'm figuring it's some tree or bush or whatever. But anyway, so if you want to take a first aid class at Atlanta, Friday's the only day that's available, and that'll fill up as well.
And I think I have.
What was that, Angie?
They always do.
It always does.
And I have 5 hours on employee stuff, hiring and stuff like that. So I have 5 hours worth of employees. So at Atlanta, I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I just don't know what precisely is causing the reaction to it. I've known I've had problems with trees in the past, not so much the plants. So it's got to be a tree down there that is just like, oh, Mary's here. Bloom.
Oh, and by the way, Mary,
Yes.
that tree we were discussing
Yes.
is a ficus. It's a type of ficus. They're these gorgeous trees in like downtown Pasadena that are like, if I say the trunks are wild looking,
Yes.
will that ring any bell to anyone who's been there? It's just
They line the streets in
yeah, it's a ficus. They're stunning.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely tree pollens. And I've been home a day and a half now, and it's just like out of my system, just coming out of my system.
Mm-hmm.
Kimberly learned to groom in Pasadena in 1984. That's her hometown. Like I said, the restaurants are phenomenal.
Yes.
are good. Yeah.
You know, so I enjoyed my time in Pasadena.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I guess moving along. Anything else we want to add to like how to talk to clients? You know,
Remember the golden rule. Honestly, we learned it when we were in grammar school. Just talk to them as we would want to be spoken to.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, I am so much better. Thank you.
I don't know if that's really a compliment, Angie.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
Did it happen again?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're just kind of ignoring it at this point. Like this
Yeah,
is
pretty
Angie.
much.
It's just my
Okay.
excuse to pull out a piece of snack cheese.
So the day before the summit, I had again? Seriously?
Just go, Brittany.
Just roll with it, Angie.
All right. So the day before the summit,
Summit, I had a 5-hour CPR class.
Mid sentence. Go. Day
Let's
before the summit.
All right,
You
the
had
day
a
before,
5-hour
the
CPR class.
day before I had the 5-hour CPR class up in New Hampshire, and it was a big room, and I had to get the people in the back, and they couldn't hear me, and so I ended up hoarse. And then the day before that, I had gotten kicked in the eye by a Leonberger, so I couldn't see out of one eye. So I was half blind and hoarse, and it was not good.
We're not okay. Just to clarify, we're not assholes who are laughing at you being kicked in the eye by a Landberger. We're laughing at the frustrated mouse comment. I need to. The timing of that was unfortunate.
As soon as we get off the air, I gotta go look and see what the warranty is on this thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, what shall we discuss next week? Shall we discuss equipment and warranties?
God, I can't.
Actually, you know what? We can touch on that because I have a feeling that the podcast we're recording tomorrow, where we're talking about the money we spend on it, we will do a bit of a longer dive on warranties, on our people standing behind their products and money we spend on it. So
Yeah.
That's actually a really good idea
Mm-hmm.
because is it back to normal now, or are you guys just like, nah, that's just how it is?
Just how it is.
we're like your chipmunk now. This is just how we live. So
Because there are brands that I purchase for my grooming specifically because of their warranty and their customer service and how
Yes.
they deal with issues.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that would actually be a really good topic. And hopefully by then, I'll actually have like normal voice.
we can if we ever feel like, oh, I'm just petting it. If we ever feel like having a brief self-care gadget discussion, maybe the week after we can go, because we talk about self-care a lot, but we can talk about gadgets. Oh, I did not turn you off, baby. No. Because I got a new paraffin wax hand thingy for Valentine's Day because I had an old one, but it was like semi lost in the flood. Like it wasn't fully, but it wasn't right. And I got a new one for Valentine's Day. And travel, with it being really, the air was really dry out in Pasadena.
Mhm.
So between that and the travel, my hands are horrible.
Mhm.
It's melting wax right now because I need some moisture in my
Okay, so you know what? So let's next week talk about customer service from the products that we buy and where
Yeah.
the companies stand behind them. and then we'll do another week. We'll do about self-care. Self-care gadgets.
Mary says I keep waiting for her to break out this song. So, alright, well, I guess I'll sing us out the door then.
Sing us out, Angie.
Alright, when you wish upon a star, make sure to say who you are.
I'm dead.
Okay. Are we, Andy, are we done here?
Good night. Good night. Good night, all.
Right.